I don't know, they might say something to their mom and it not might be in congruence with her beliefs. So,
Right. And you have to be so careful of that, really,
I don't
honestly,
know. Yeah.
because yeah, a lot of times parents, they have a certain worldview or, whatever that they're trying to, teach
Hmm.
their children. And if you come up with some different thing,
Hmm.
they, you know, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's weird.
it interferes.
It interferes. Yeah.
So
So,
I was like, maybe I don't say anything. So I did, that was all I said, and then that was it. And we moved on to the next thing we were doing, or whatever came came to their minds to do. So it was fun. That was fun. A good hour and a half, maybe. I don't know. Wasn't very long.
how old are the kids? How old are these kids?
Oh. So the oldest is 7, and the youngest is 4 or
Yeah.
5.
So, yeah, they're at the point where like death is a mystery and they
Yeah,
don't, they just know something happened. She's
right,
gone.
right.
So,
And they
and
don't. My daughter-in-law had, well, we were going to go to the funeral, right? We were going, but she texted me, I don't know, Thursday, I think it was, to say if I could stay with the girls. She goes, I know I really want you to be there with me, but um, in talking to the oldest one, she doesn't want to go and she doesn't want to be there.
yeah,
And so I said, that's fine. It's fine with me. I mean, I would have loved to be there, but I also want to help you, and the girls if they're not comfortable being there, which I understand. As a kid, it's all such a mystery, like you said, that it borders on scary, right?
right. Yeah.
So I said I understand. I'll stay with the girls, no problem. So yeah, I won't be going, but I will be babysitting the whole time, which I don't know how long it's going to be. It's about a half an hour away, and not sure how the ceremony is going to be, but whatever it
Oh
is,
God.
that's where I'm going to be. So that's why I won't be able to share next week.
Yeah. It all depends too on what kind of, what their religious belief or whatever, if they have
Mm-hmm.
one or
Mm-hmm.
because Catholic, you know how long it's a
Oh,
mass,
a
you
mess.
know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know
Yes.
how long that's going to be.
But yeah, but they're not. I don't know what they're Christian, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And they don't go to church. They don't do any of that.
Yeah.
Um, at
Oh,
least
but
her that I know of, she does not.
yeah, it's really sad. When my granddaughter's boyfriend died and
Mm.
it was on his 22nd birthday. He was
Jeez.
22 years old. And this was the year of COVID.
Hmm.
COVID had just come up, I believe. And anyway, yeah, because when I went to his funeral, I came back sick, and I'm thinking now that I actually did have COVID, but they hadn't really defined it at the time and didn't really
Yeah.
know what it was or anything. So, but he was just a young guy,
Hmm.
and so, uh, the family was not religious or anything.
Hmm.
But when they had the funeral at this local funeral home, and the guy is up there telling everybody you need to get saved and join me with the Lord and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, this is really inappropriate because what he was implying was that Reuben was not saved,
Right.
that Reuben was going to hell.
Yeah.
And and I thought, man, you know, I can't believe this guy is standing up at this young boy's funeral
Scaring everybody to death.
scaring everybody, making them think he's gone to hell.
Yeah.
Basically, was what he was, and it made me mad.
Yeah.
I was really pissed. I'm like, this is ridiculous. But
But there's nothing you can do, unfortunately.
yeah, I would love to have just got up and said, "Hey, this is bullshit,"
Hmm.
but not in the middle of the funeral.
Yeah. Right. Well, the good thing is that your granddaughter probably knows better. I mean, she's
Oh yeah.
as
She
you.
grew up with
So
me.
yeah, right.
So no matter what their belief is, they
Mm,
know God is here. They know angels exist.
mhm.
They know, you know, things are, Jesus is, the man, and they know all that kind of stuff. And and where they don't go to church, I don't care. I don't go to church either. I go to
Yeah.
two churches on Sunday. Regina Dawn Acres Awakening Together and Maureen Muldoon Speakeasy, because they're online and I play them on the radio. But I
Mm,
don't go into a Christian church. I will go to a Catholic church. I will go to mass. Any
mhm,
place. If I travel someplace, I will
mhm,
always go and find a church and go to mass, because I love the tradition of the Catholic Church.
mhm,
I love the just the ambiance
mhm,
of being in there. You have this sense of peace and love and joy.
mhm,
It's quiet. I mean,
mhm,
just there's so many wonderful things about it.
mhm.
And I have gone to other Christian churches where it is not like that.
Yeah.
or, or people are, shouting and crying, I mean, the first time I went to one of those, when I was a little kid in Leadville, and my parents had this, they were working, and so the babysitter
Mm,
took me to her church. And a little Catholic girl, I never been to anything like that.
mhm.
And I get in there and people are, standing up and crying and going down the aisles and shouting, and I just was stunned. I was shocked.
Why not? Yeah.
And I came out, and what was the funny thing, my mom had given me a dime. Back in those days, 10 cents was a lot of money.
Mm,
Okay, so she had given me a dime to put in the collection box, because they come around with the collection boxes, they always do. And when that collection box came around, that dime was in my pocket. I was not handing out my dime to that. And later, when all that was over, I went down to the Dairy Queen and got an ice cream cone, and I was like, for that dime, I was like, now this is where that dime should have really been spent, not these people that are screaming and shouting in in church. It was really weird. It was wild.
yeah.
But then later, my sister married a guy, and they became
Mm,
Nazarene. It was a Nazarene church. And when I went to visit them, uh, they took me to church with them one time, and I was just like, it was like 4 hours. It
no.
just kept going. I was there for like 4 hours, and I said, no, I'm not going back there. And so I just had them leave me at the church, the Catholic church,
Mhm.
and then I just stayed there at the Catholic church, and I went to the 9 o'clock mass, the 10 o'clock mass.
Oh my gosh.
I went to all the masses because, I'm waiting for them to get out of their church and come pick me up.
Wow.
Uh, but that was cool. That it was in Garden City, Kansas,
Yeah.
and they had this really beautiful old kind of Spanish
Mm,
church,
mm.
uh, and it was just lovely. So I remember those times fondly, but uh those Christians scared the crap out of me. So, it depends on the who's doing
Domination.
service
Yeah.
as to whether or not I would want my kids to be in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, everybody has their own way of, I guess, connecting
yeah,
and I too was brought up in a Catholic home, and even though we weren't not really very going to church on Sundays, at least in Mexico, we never did, but we did our share of church because we were in a Catholic school. So every day or whenever we would have to go to a mass, or we had to do going to the chapel, or we had to pray in place and in our classrooms. It's like we were constantly being taught to pray. And so it
yeah,
wasn't a big thing, just my parents who only on certain occasions that we actually went. And even here, same thing. I
yeah.
wasn't very super religious.
Yeah, well, it was lucky for me because my parents were not either,
Hmm.
but I loved it. So, and we were like a block and a half from the church, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
could just go over there anytime.
Hmm.
And I
Wow.
did. I love to go in there and hang out. Now they lock the churches, and I understand it because people steal things from them. But used to be, it just would be open all the time.
Yeah. Wow.
You could go in there anytime of the day or night.
That's fun. That's good that you were able to go.
Yeah, I
My
love.
church wasn't that close. And Mexico was even farther away because we always lived outside of the city. And here in Oakland, where I sort of grew up part of my life, now a little bit, just a little tiny bit of my life. Um, the church was, oh my gosh, it must have been like 8 blocks maybe. And it was not straight from my
Yeah,
house. It's just like several curves to get to that church. So the church was on 34th. We lived on 36th. So it was 2 blocks down if we went that way, but then you still had to go through several blocks to get to the church once you were on 34th
yeah.
Avenue. Yeah. So,
Oh yeah, and someplace like that, that's kind of a bigger crowded place. So
oh yeah, it
yeah,
was.
Leadville is a little tiny little town. So
Uh,
you know, you
Well,
just
this church was a big church,
that's that's cool.
St. Elizabeth.
Yeah. Well,
So,
and that's when we talk about when remembering times. I know I do these meditations of
mm,
remembering times when I felt holy
mm,
and connected, and just meditating on that and bringing it to my consciousness and remembering how that feels,
mm,
and getting that feeling back again.
yeah.
So a lot of times the feeling that I come to is one of sitting in the church,
Mm,
just sitting quietly in the pew, and
yeah.
uh just the way it smelled, the
Yeah, I
incense.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah, the candles,
Mm,
the the little lights, all we had stained glass windows, and there were beautiful statues, and just everywhere you looked it was just holy,
yeah.
and it
It
felt
felt
holy.
that way. Yeah,
Yeah,
it felt that way. Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
Yeah. I love
yeah.
churches too.
Me
Catholic
too.
churches.
Old churches,
But,
especially. Newer churches tend to be a little off-putting sometimes with all their modern architecture and such.
yeah.
But the older churches are just,
They're more welcoming, I think.
yeah, yeah, just a sweet, quiet place to just go and be.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Right.
anywho,
Yeah.
that,
Anywho.
that's where I was at. So we are reading The Clairs for course
Hmm.
students by Corinne Zupko. And I can't remember. I think we were going through the how to what is it?
You were
Signs
right.
that you may have clairvoyant.
Mhm.
Um,
And you were perfectly stopped where you had it in the beginning.
that's
Because
what I thought. Yeah.
yeah, imaginative. That's where we were gonna start with.
Yeah. So, well, cool. So
So
you want to read?
sure, I can
Okay.
start. So imaginative skills. Your imagination is exceptionally vivid, and you can create detailed mental imagery with ease. You may find it easy to visualize scenes, characters, or ideas. Moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's me to a
Mhm.
T.
Yeah.
That's my
I can
my
imagine things. I can see the
yeah.
colors. I can, um,
Smell the
yeah.
smells, feel the
Yeah,
feelings.
I can even bring up smells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smells are a big part of my imagination, or my memory and imagination.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
even
Yeah, like
yes.
somebody just sent me and that's why I was like 2 minutes late to log into Zoom here. But um a friend of my mom's who's 80, she's 82. Yeah, she turned 82. And I just this week reconnected with her. I had a picture of my mom when they were young. My mom must have been in her 20s, and this girl must have been 13, 14, maybe 15. I don't know. This is in Mexico. And there's another lady, another girl with them. they're at a, I knew that it had to be a dance hall of some sort that they were at, but they were close to a balcony. So you could see, like in the background, there's nothing, there's nothing else. There's a big window or a balcony. Um, but I didn't know who these girls were. Now, the one on the right of my, on the left of my mom, on the left of the picture, or no, I'm looking at the picture, it's on the right, on the right side when I'm looking at the picture. I kind of had the feeling that it was Maria Victoria. That's her name, Maria Victoria. And but I wasn't sure. And I had asked somebody before, hey, somebody within that family, do you know if this is Maria Victoria? And they were like, I don't know. So they couldn't figure it out themselves. So I waited basically. And then one day this week, I opened up my messenger from Facebook and I saw a message from her. And I thought, oh, I've never talked to her. We became friends because I saw her and I thought, this has to be the one that was my mom's friend. And so I friended her a while back, but we had never communicated. And now she sent me a song. It was just a YouTube video of a song, somebody singing. I can't remember the song, but it's something about "We Will Meet Again." That was the song, and it's an old song. She said later. I replied to her and I just said, "Oh, thank you, beautiful song." And then she started talking to me, and as she was telling me all this stuff, talking about my mom and how she really looked up to my mom and that they only let her hang out with her and that they did a lot of things together. So there's a point to the story, but the at the end I said, I have a picture. Let me find it. I have a feeling it's you, but I couldn't confirm it. And now that I have you, well, now you can see it. So I shared it with her and she's like, oh my God, yes, that's me. I remember that day. And I went with Thelma, that was my mom. And that was at, and she told me where it was at, and that hall doesn't exist anymore. And so she was giving me all kinds of details, and I was so happy. And she was very happy to have received the picture because she said she moved so many times that she lost a lot of her pictures. And so the thing was that she starts telling me stories, and as she's telling me these stories, I can imagine it. I can see it in my mind's eye. I can see my mom dressed up the way that she was describing, and I could see it all. Like I could just I don't know if it was accurate, right? If it was exactly how it was, but at least my version of how she's describing it, that I am seeing it. And that's why I'm sharing this story because I can just see it. So today she sends me more information, but not about my mom. It's more of we had that common park, her, because we were neighbors, like next door neighbors, wall to wall kind of neighbors. And of course, by the time I was growing up, she was already married, I think, and she had moved. She moved all over the country over there, and then she ended up in where is she? She's in San Diego. Yeah. So she married, but anyway, her husband decided to come to San Diego. And so but that park, we called it Parque de los Pajaritos because it had birds and it had a humongous cage. I mean, it was a humongous ball. And it's sad now to me to think that all those birds were in there, but they were like uh, all kinds of birds. But the main ones are the green ones, the ones that little parrots, like they're parakeets.
Like the conure or yeah, parakeet or
They're
conure.
green and they're
Yeah.
yellow and they're all different colors.
Lovebirds, maybe.
Yeah, they're all kind of the pretty birds, and they would sing all the time. They were always like chirping so we went to the park, and it was a tiny little park. I mean, it wasn't anything big, um, but big enough to hold that humongous thing. And at the same time, have space for water. You could hear the water flowing, and little bridges for kids to cross over these little illuminated I can't think of they're sunken little like rivers, for example, but it's all concrete. So it's
Uh-huh.
nothing dirt or anything. It's concrete. So you have lights on the sides, and it was really pretty at night, at least for
Sounds
me as a
really
kid.
nice.
Yeah, I was 3, I don't know, maybe I started going there since I was 2, 3, 4 years old with my grandpa, and I really enjoyed it. And so these images just start, it's very vivid for me to see these things. I can see them. And yeah, so I think as we go through these, I think all of us have all these things already. We just haven't realized that or connected it to being a Claire.
Right.
So
Yeah,
that's
because
pretty cool.
absolutely, um, not only were we there,
Hmm.
um, we've been everyone else who's ever been there
Hmm.
is also our like we're connected.
Yeah.
So you can actually see through your friends' eyes
Yeah.
what they experienced while they were there as well. If you're clairvoyant.
Hmm.
I mean, I think, and this is just my own take on what imagination is, because this whole world is imagination. We imagined it when we had the tiny mad idea, right?
Yeah.
And came up with this big illusion, this big dream world that we're living on. Uh, but that at the time when we had that tiny mad idea, because God limited our ability to miscreate, we couldn't make more imaginary things. So every imaginary thing that you come up with right now was already imagined at that time. It's been in the like uh the field or the illusion this whole time, and all we're doing is tapping into it when we imagine it. So if you imagine a day where all these things are happening at this place where you believe you remember seeing,
Hmm.
that actually did happen,
Hmm.
just as real as the thing you actually experienced, because all of it is the same dream. It's all the same illusion. So it's all just as real as it's not.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get it. So it's all
So
it's the imagination. It's the collective imagination, the collective imagery, I guess, that we
yeah,
all experienced imagining it. And so therefore the imagination is real, but it's real what you're seeing, even though it's just all was imagined in the
that's
beginning.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's as real as none of it is real.
It's as real as it's not.
That's it. It's as real as it's not. Oh, I love it. That's hilarious.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness.
You
So
want to take
yeah,
on the
so
next one?
yeah, let's go on to the next one.
Okay.
Uh, you
Do
want,
you want to do it?
okay. Yeah. Intuitive dreaming. Your dreams may be highly visual and carry significant messages or insights. You may experience lucid dreaming or have a strong ability to remember and interpret your dreams.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
I don't know. Have you ever experienced lucid dreaming?
Well, I don't lucid dreaming as in
You
I'm not
know
really
you're dreaming.
sure
You're
that
dreaming and you know that you're
that
dreaming.
you're dreaming and you know you're dreaming. I've
Yeah.
had some, yes. I've had some like that. But last night's dream was very vivid. Uh,
Yeah.
and it had to do where I was traveling and I was traveling with my mom, my dad, my sister Heidi, and my group from work. And it was crazy. Like we were at one place and then no, we need to leave and there were kids. But I don't know who these kids were. That I think they were my kids, but I don't know. I don't know. Like I can't pinpoint whose kids they
Right.
were, but we were taking care of them. I mean, it wasn't like they were strangers or anything. They were our kids. And so I remember having to pick everything up and then telling us that we needed to move. We needed to go to a different place. We needed to fly to a different place. And but my mom and my sister couldn't go. See, my sister's the one that is not, let's see, she had brain damage, so she's not completely here. She's here and she has a lot of memories, but she has a sundown or something at in the afternoon, so she really gets fearful and afraid and um so but my mom, she's passed away, and my dad, of course, he's passed away. And my dad, he left me his passport. He said, "Here, you can have my passport." And I remember having it I was keeping it in some safe place, like a plastic thing that I was keeping it in. And then my mom and my sister had to go. Well, I was leaving. And but I remember in the dream I saw their plane take off and I'm like, "Oh good, there goes my mom and my sister. They're leaving." Um so it's just, to me it was just interesting to see it. And I remember there were, for whatever reason, there were some, like, those pins that you use for sewing to help to hold your fabric together while you're cutting it or while you
Uh-huh.
are sewing. So those pins, and they're different pins. They're not the pins that I have, but they were round tops, long. They were longer than what I have. And they were all in pastel colors. They were pink and they were blue, but very pastel. They weren't like bright, like my type of, I love bright colors. Pastels are nice for certain things, but the majority of the stuff I like bright colors. And so it wasn't my thing to have that, but that's what I had in that. And I remember taking them out and I was telling my sister Heidi, "Hey, be careful with these because I'm going to leave them there and I don't have time to pick up a lot of stuff." And so I was leaving things that I didn't need. So it was kind of like giving away stuff or leaving it with them so that they
Uh-huh.
could take it, because where I was going, I didn't, I was traveling for work. I don't need that stuff. I couldn't take all those things. So yeah, anyway, there's a lot more to that dream, but it
Wow.
was,
So if you
yeah,
could like look and see if there's, what does it mean, those straight pins, that your dad's passport, all those things have meanings
yeah, there's
that,
something. Yeah,
are showing you something in your subconscious.
yeah,
That's pretty
it's,
cool.
it's pretty cool. My sister had dreams with her, but the dreams with my sister Heidi were that she would come looking for. She had three dreams. The first one where she came and she wanted to see mom. Of course, my mom's passed away, but she's coming to Rose's house, and Rose said that my mom was not there or something. And so Heidi left. The second dream, she came back again. She wanted to see mom. And but I don't know what happened. Now I forget what the story was with that. But it's basically like she still couldn't see my mom. And then the third one, she comes and she tells Rose, "Hey, I'm going to go with mom. I'm going with mom." And so of course for us, she's telling us, because we can't see our sister. She's being held by, we say held, she's being taken care of by another sister. And for some reason, she doesn't like to talk to us. So it's basically keeping her from us to see her.
This
And
is in real life. This is not in your
this
dream.
is real life, not dream.
Okay. Okay.
And so we have not seen her, heard of her, known that she can't text, she can't do any of that because she's disabled now. And the only one that can do all that is the one who's taking care of her, the other sister. But sometimes you text her and she doesn't respond. She won't respond to you. Um, so Rose is starting to get very worried and worked up about it because she feels that that Heidi might be either dead or she's gonna die, right?
Right.
And this is how strongly she was feeling these dreams. So I kept telling her, just write to the other sister, just write to her. But um, I think in a way she's fearful of her because she can be mean. She's mean.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah. And so um, she finally had the courage to re to send her a message.
Okay,
And she did. And she didn't reply until I think the next day with a picture of Heidi. And that's it. That's all she said. Then,
wow.
like about an hour or two later, she sends a text saying, um, Heidi has always been available for you to see her. You just need to come and pick her up. Tell me what time. She can't stay long. She can't stay out, but she does have a lot of appointments and this and that. And so the same thing that she's always said. And the thing is that whenever you choose a date, she'll say, no, we can't. She has an appointment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or another time, no, she's not feeling well, so she can't. Or no, that time doesn't work. You need to pick her up at 10. We all work. So we can't, right? So she always finds a way to not have it happen. Um, and this time, basically, she's making it seem like we are not the ones that are, letting us see her. I mean, that we're the ones choosing not to see her when it's just all these times that have been in the past where you ask and you ask and you ask, and she's always saying no because there's something else. So she's got physical therapy, she has doctor's appointments, I don't know. We really don't know anything about her life and what's happening. So we don't have any way to confirm that that is the case. Um, so yeah, so that's where we're at. And then this thing where now I'm dreaming that she's on a plane with my mom and they are leaving and my dad is already there, so they're going to meet my dad. And the kids stay with me, even though I'm at a work, at a work
Uh-huh.
business trip type thing. And the kids stayed with me. So they were leaving. They were all leaving. So I don't know if that confirms my sister's fears and the dreams that she's having, or is it just, paranoia that you're just having these same dreams? But it was very, very colorful and nothing like some dreams are dark. You don't see color, but this was all in color, like all in color.
Yeah. That's
So,
interesting. Yeah. And
yeah,
so
yeah,
it could be your sister sending you a message.
yeah,
Let's see. I mean, it could be your sister who is uh maybe maybe she's unable to speak for herself, but she can speak to you psychic or intuitively
yeah.
and be sending you messages that you're only able to receive because you're in that dreaming state where you're able to listen to that uh that vibration or that signal. I don't know if that makes any sense,
Yeah, no, it
but
does.
I think a lot of times when things come to us in our dreams is because we are not able to actually experience or pay attention to it in our waking life
Hmm.
because of resistance.
Right.
So, that, it could be she's talking to you and saying, "Hey, I'm getting ready to go."
Exactly.
Could, yeah, and I don't need the passport.
Right.
And don't need the pins, or we
Dad
don't need
doesn't
the,
need anything. Yeah, we're
yeah, yeah,
free. Yeah, we're
yeah,
free.
we're
We don't need
free.
anything.
You don't need to pin anything on us or
Hmm.
I
Drop the pins,
drop the
leave the
pins.
pins there, or I'm
You
letting
can
go of the
leave.
pins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, could very well be. And that's great because it seems like, yeah, you do have a vehicle for having a uh communication with your sister, whether you can talk to her in person or not. And especially if she's in that state of, I think you said sundowning, which
At
is
night. Yeah.
basically, I mean, that's kind of on the way out.
Yeah. She
Yeah,
has that
so
at night.
it could be that because the spirit doesn't change.
Right.
The mind and the body can become deteriorated,
Mhm.
The spirit is still the same.
Yeah.
So, and it's as strong as it ever was. So,
Right.
interesting, interesting.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so with dreams, I've had when I was younger,
Mm.
when I was a teenager, and at that time, I had dreams all the time about things that were going to happen.
Yeah.
And my first husband, I dreamed about him before I ever met him.
Well,
And I knew I was going to marry him.
mm,
And he had had a dream uh, before he came to my town where I lived,
mm.
uh, and had told the people he was with that he dreamed that in the next town he was going to meet the woman he was going to marry. And so, or that the first woman he met was who he was going to marry. And I had had a dream, and I had told everybody, "Hey, I have a dream. This guy, I'm going to marry this guy," and they're all laughing about it. And
Mm,
then I was sitting outside my mom's house,
mm,
and he drove up in his bus with his friends, and he got out of the bus and he looked at me and came over. I think I told you this story before, did I?
I don't
He
remember.
he came over to
Mm,
me. I was sitting under a tree,
mm.
and he came over to me and he said, "Hello, will you marry me?"
Ah,
And I looked at him and I
what?
said, "Yes, what's
Oh
your name?"
my God.
And that's how we got engaged.
Oh my gosh.
Complete strangers. I dreamed about him, he dreamed about me, and we were enough to just follow our dreams. Um, and we did get married. We were married for 3 years, which was astounding for having been complete strangers. I mean, two
Yeah.
weeks later,
Mhm.
we were married.
Wow.
And I mean, my mom and everybody was like, "Well, yeah, she said she was going to marry him, and there he is.
There he
I
is.
can marry her."
Yeah. Wow. And
But
you
yeah,
saw him? Did you see him in your dream, his face and
yeah,
everything?
yeah,
Oh wow. So
yeah,
you knew. You
yeah.
knew.
I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I knew it, and it was hard not. I mean, you would not have mistaken it because he was African American,
Okay.
uh and had just the look, his eyes, everything. I just knew it. And so and
Wow.
there were in where I lived African American people. I
Mhm.
mean, there were a couple but not very many.
Mhm.
So that's why people thought I was insane. But sure enough, it was him, and we did get married. It wasn't the greatest marriage because it turned out later that he was gay, and he
Oh,
really, he was confused,
yeah.
about, and because of our religion, he that condemned people to be gay, he said, he obviously wanted to try not to be,
Mhm.
but so that was one. And then after we were just getting divorced, actually, um, and I had another dream about a guy, and and this guy and I were just talking, and he was saying, "I am so sorry that things have to be this way." And I said, "I know I'm sorry too, but I know that there's nothing I can do about it. This is the way it is."
Mhm.
That was the whole dream, was him and I apologizing to each other for what was going to happen. And
Um,
the next day, I went to my meditation group, which we did these daily meditations. I went to my meditation group, and that guy was there.
mhm.
And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and it was like, "Oh, that's you." Now, I don't know if he had had a dream like that or not, but actually, today is his birthday. He passed away like what, 4 years ago with cancer. He was a Vietnam War vet, and he had the war really screwed him up. But
Yeah.
he knew, and we did not get married, but we were together, and he's my son's father. My So that's uh when I got pregnant with my son, we went through that little scene. He's like, "I'm sorry, but I can't do this." And I said, I'm sorry too. And I went and had my baby, and I didn't see or hear from him until it's been what, 10 or 12 years ago. I looked him up on Facebook, and I found his kids, his daughter and his son. Uh, and so I contacted them. I asked them, is this your dad? And they said yes. And I said, well, you might be interested to know that you have a brother. And they're like, the daughter knew, she said he had told her at some point that she had a brother somewhere. But the son didn't know. But anyway, so now my son has another sister and a brother that he didn't have before his whole life.
And this is the same guy you had married?
No, this was
No.
this was the guy after I was divorced.
Oh, okay,
I was in the midst of a divorce
got it.
when I met this other guy, Dale,
Mm-hmm.
and met him at the meditation group.
Got it.
So uh so we were just together for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh and it was great. I loved him. Even to this day, his name is sweet on my lips.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
he was a sweet, sweet man, but he was married 5 times. He could not settle down with any woman.
Yeah.
Uh, but that's just his life.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that was it. That was from a dream. So yeah, I had things like
Wow.
that when I was younger. Now I don't hardly ever dream. If I do, I really don't remember it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably
So
not remembering them. Maybe you have to set the intention that you
yeah, and I've tried that, and it works. You can do that, but I don't even pay attention to the life I'm living while I'm awake, unless
want.
they go back and try to remember what I was doing when I was sleeping.
Right. Right. You're like, I have enough with what I have here.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, that's funny.
Uh,
Well,
So anyway,
let's continue with the visualizing energy. So I'll get this one and then you get the next one.
okay.
Visualizing energy or healing. You can visualize energy flows, blockages, or healing processes within the mind or the body while staying aware that the body is in the mind. This ability allows you to work effectively with energy healing modalities.
Hmm.
No?
I don't have any of that.
Well, and I think I've shared before, before my dad passed away. So this was between, I don't know, 1998, 99 to 2005. I don't know, somewhere around there. I really don't, I can't pinpoint it anymore. It's been too long. But so I would pray on my way to work because I had a good 30 minutes at some point, and then other times it was much longer for because I had a different position and I was traveling like to farther away stores at the time. And so if it was after 2001, and I just don't remember right now what it was. So I remember praying, and I would say, Our Father and a Hail Mary, and I still had nothing to do with, I had not heard about the course at all. Um, so I was doing that. We were kind of away from the church, not really going to church on Sundays or anything like that, but I still had that strong, which I still do, um, to pray. So I remember praying, and the thing that I did is I named everybody by name, all my dad, my mom, and my siblings, my kids, my husband, um, anybody, my neighbors or my friends at work, and it's just my aunts, my uncles, whatever. It's like just kind of I had time, so I could ask for everybody by name, and if there's anybody that needed anything. And then I was kind of looking already into chakras and stuff like that. And I had read somewhere about, you can cleanse your chakras. So I would do that, and then I would visualize while I'm driving. I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but I could see it in my mind's eye. I could see that light flowing from the top of my head and just stopping at each like the crown chakra and the eye chakra, I forget what it's called. I think it's just called eye chakra, the third eye chakra. And then the throat and the heart and uh, I forget what
Right,
the rest
all
of
of
them.
them. I know,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
we
I
went
just
through all
went through
this
all
of
of them and the colors, and I could see them, I could feel like it was hard to get it going. I would feel that, but I don't know. I didn't associate it with any ability of any sort. I was just seeing it that way. And I would just say to myself, yes, you can turn, you can turn. Until I saw it flowing, and then I would just then continue with that light through my next chakra and do the same thing. And some of them were just flowing already, and I just continue going on. But I never thought of it as a ability to see where the blockages were or anything like that. And I still don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you, oh yeah, I have the ability to. No, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't.
yeah,
But
I
it's funny. That's all. That.
yeah, yeah, and I've tried this, I've tried all sorts of things like
Mm,
that. I just don't, it doesn't, uh, I just don't, that I can't see. I wish I could,
mm,
but maybe it's not important for me to do that.
mm,
So, because I'd love to be like Reiki and all that kind of stuff. I think
uh-huh,
that's how they do. I have not studied it, but I
mm,
think that's how they do it. And I
mm,
think the reason I haven't studied it is because I don't have any feeling like I could do it. It doesn't, you
yeah.
know, I can't, yeah,
Mm,
I can't send or receive that way, I guess. I don't know. But
yeah.
there's a lot of good things I can do, so it doesn't really matter if I can't do that particular thing.
Right.
But
Well, I think I started, I can tell you that. I did start, and I did do a few sessions for friends, just for friends and people who were open to it for free. I wasn't charging anything or anything like that. Um, but then I started thinking, okay, so the energy is not from it. Obviously, it's not from me. It comes from it's God, right? The God energy. And then I'm thinking, well, why does it need me to tell it to go there when it's already everywhere? Like, you know what I mean? Like I started thinking those
yes,
things that I'm like,
that makes sense to me. I think that same kind of thing.
yeah, so I kind of shied away from it. I didn't continue doing anything because I felt like, I don't know. Why? Why is it this way? Unless, why would it be me? Unless we need two people to agree and then them be open to feeling because they feel that they can't do it and therefore I'm helping them to open up. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But I do think that they are able to heal people, and or at least the energy of God's energy to flow that way, to be open for it. And so that's what I do these days. It's just bless whoever I see. If something really hits me,
Yep.
like seeing an elderly and we're driving by and we know that that elderly is homeless, for example, that really hits me hard. And
Yeah.
so all I say is I say thank you for doing what you're doing, for being who you are, for showing me um, where I have my empathy and where that I have empathy and that I care about you. And so I bless you with the love of our Father so that you don't have to be doing this anymore. Kind of like
Exactly.
stop.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do that. I think we've talked about this,
Yeah, we
the
have.
oneness
Yeah.
blessing.
Yeah.
I do that oneness blessing, and that's basically, I don't see it as me doing anything other than I'm blessing. I am just, instead of cursing, I'm blessing. Um,
Yes. Yes.
and I found that a long time ago that most of the time wherever you are either cursing or blessing. Either you're saying, this is not good, I don't like this, I wish it was different, look at that bad thing happening, or you're looking for the goodness and you're blessing what you see. And I'm the Pollyanna that wants to be blessing because I, I, it makes me sick to curse things, so I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, but I agree with you, blessing is the way.
Mhm.
We have, what, three more? Um,
Yeah. We have three more. Oh, we have
yeah, there's
visualizing.
seeing lights,
Oh, yeah.
problem solving, and visionary skills.
So
So,
do we do visualizing energy first?
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
longest. Mm.
yeah,
Is it your turn? I think it's your turn.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
or yeah, yeah. Well, we
Okay.
just did visualizing energy. That's what we were just talking about. So this
Oh,
next one
yes.
is
Okay. Seeing
seeing
lights.
light.
Okay.
And you have light episodes, or you may have
Yeah.
had the ability to perceive lights or energy around people, animals, or objects. These fields may appear as colors, light, or subtle shimmering. Some people have the ability to see people's energy fields. Oh, Maureen Muldoon was just talking about this on her
Oh,
group, seeing
okay.
people's auras and stuff
Hmm.
in their mind's eye or through the body's eyes. And given to the Holy Spirit, this ability can be used to help us remember that we are not bodies. It is important to note that the complete and annotated edition, of which I do not care about,
Hmm.
speaks about Edgar Casey's ability to see auras. And that's all fine and good, but that was Edgar Casey, and that is not, it has nothing to really for me to do with the Course of Miracles.
Hmm.
He was a guy that was around when Helen was, I mean, or before Helen.
Before Helen,
Right,
yeah.
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So Edgar Casey, but
Hmm.
uh, so, and highlights that attributing non-physical attributes to the physical is essentially magic, yes. In other words, we must not lose sight of the fact that the world is a dream and the body is in the mind. As students of A Course in Miracles, we can simply be willing to see a person's inner light and not have a goal of needing to see energy fields. Oh, okay. So yeah. So it doesn't matter according to her, and I think this is true. Seeing energy fields to me is kind of uh, I don't know, not necessary.
Hmm. Or
Oh my gosh.
it's more of a um what am I trying to say? Of a worldly event,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Because you want to see the energy field around the body that I don't have.
right, right.
So you
Which
basically
is an
want to
energy
see the
field.
inner
The
light.
body is an energy field.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's just an extension of the energy field that you may be able to see, but
mhm.
it doesn't really matter whether you can or not. That's what Maureen will do. They were talking about seeing people's auras and if it's a good aura, whatever. Like, I don't think it has anything is it's the body is in the mind. Just
Yeah.
exactly what you just said.
Yeah. The only thing that I had experience with, I've never seen, I can't tell you that I've ever seen I'd be lying if I did, that I saw people's auras. I don't.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the only experience that I did have was with trees and walking. And I remember walking, I was at work. I think I was just walking by myself and I was just looking at the trees. And I don't know, there's something about trees for me that if I'm walking and I'm open and I open myself to saying, hi, tree, in my mind, I say, hi, tree, you look so lovely. And I start talking to them. Um, it's almost like I can feel their love for me. I don't know. I can feel it. And what I saw one time is this purple light all around them, like the contour of the tree and in between the leaves. And, like you can see the sky, because the leaves don't cover the entire tree. all of it was like a beautiful purplish color. And I, oh,
Wow,
so beautiful. But that's it.
that's pretty
That was
cool.
the only time, and I
Yeah,
haven't had that experience anymore. So it's maybe
yeah,
not my thing.
yeah. So,
Hmm.
yeah, and yeah, I guess you can if you really look, but
Hmm.
it just, yeah, that sounds really beautiful, though. I would love to have seen that.
The trees. That would be,
That
yeah,
sounds amazing.
trees. It was
Yeah.
that was amazing. I was like, I stopped and I started blinking my eyes like, okay, what am I seeing?
Wow.
Is it true? I was like,
That's really
wow,
cool.
that felt,
Mm,
it really humbles you. And
yeah.
you're
It's
like,
like the
oh
tree was
my
talking to
God.
you.
Yeah, yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. Very
So,
pretty, very pretty.
well, there's just two more here. I'm just going to read these last two because they
Sure.
basically are the same thing.
Okay.
Problem solving. You're
Hmm.
great at problem solving because you're able to see how pieces fit together. That's me completely. I'm
Yep,
like the visionary puzzle person.
yep,
I can figure out it.
yep.
And then visionary skills, you're a visionary and can easily see the big picture in a situation. Heads of companies like CEOs often exercise their clairvoyance through their visionary leadership.
Hmm.
And I experience that too. I can see the big picture. So,
Yeah, yeah. I have to see the big picture for me to do anything.
right. Otherwise, you get caught up in the small pictures and
Yep.
you get confused and angry.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
why is this happening?
Yep.
So,
You have to.
anyway. That
Wonderful.
concludes that. So this will set us up for clairvoyance in the body when you come back
Yeah.
after next week.
That,
So
yeah.
I'm
So
gonna
that
go
was
ahead and stop the share
the 16th. Uh-huh.
and
Funny.
say
That month.
hello to Jorge. I'm glad you're with us, brother. And thank
Thank
you so much,
you.
Zita.
No,
And
thank you. Love
thank you
talking
for
to
taking
you.
care of those babies during that funeral. Because
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's hard on little children. When my sister passed away,
Mhm.
uh a few years ago, and well, Taya, my granddaughter, who is now a grown woman with a child of her own, but we had gone up and visited my sister a few times when she was in a rehab center because she had a she had a really crazy interconnective tissue disease that eventually killed her. And but we had gone and visited her and stuff. And so then when we went up to the funeral, and Taya had never been to a funeral before or
Oh,
see they had open casket. And
oh,
I'm telling you what, this shocked the hell out of me. Sh Joanne, when she was in that casket, she looked like she could just get up and step out of there.
wow.
They had put her like she was so perfect. It was like she didn't look dead at all.
Wow.
She just looked like she was laying there sleeping. And that just scared the crap out of my granddaughter.
Oh.
Taya, she
How old
started
was
crying.
she?
Yeah, she had a
How old was
terrible time.
Oh,
How old was she?
yeah,
She must have been like maybe, I don't know, 10 or 11.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Not, yeah, it was bad. So yeah, little children, they don't need to be seeing the dead person.
Yeah.
Back in the olden days, they'd say, "Oh, like give grandma a kiss now,"
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
like, "Hey."
No, I know. I mean, if it comes out of you because you want to, then yes.
Yeah.
But not force little children to do that. I mean, my mom made us kiss my sister, but she was 3 years old. She was in her
Oh,
bed. I was 8 years old. Yeah, I was
oh,
8 years old. Turning 9 that a month later. So I remember that, and I don't have a bad feeling about it. I just know it was my sister, and I had this love for her. I mean, she really was. We were close, even though
yeah.
she was a twin to the sister that's taking care of my younger sister now.
Wow.
That was her twin. But she
Wow.
was she was sick, so she needed a little more TLC.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so she was more closer to me. But anyway, yeah, so I have that memory. I don't have anybody else that we had to, just my mom, my dad. But that's different, I think, as a
Yeah,
child, as an adult. But kids, I would never, no, not make
yeah.
them. So,
Nope, no need for it.
no,
All right. All right, my dear. I love you with all my heart.
love
I'm
you
so
too.
grateful that you join me every Sunday.
Me too. I love it.
Uh,
I look
great,
forward
great
to it.
fun reading this book with you. I love you.
Love you too.
I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes, ma'am. Have
Bye
fun.
bye.